Live. I did it. I pressed the button. I said, go live. What's up, everybody? This is Beard Laws, episode number 77. 77th time. For whatever reason, you guys come in here, watch this. I really do appreciate that. You guys could be anywhere in the world watching anything in the world, and you choose whether it's 9 o'clock your time, whether it's 6 o'clock your time, or whether it's like wherever Laura is. I think it's like 5 in the morning or something crazy. And I really do appreciate it. We got people all over the world. This Beard Law show is international. What else is going to be international? Our guest coffee. If it's not already international, it's gonna be international. I'm super excited to have this conversation. And even Logan made it pretty much on time. So we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get ready, hit the introduction, and we're gonna be back with Java John, or he goes by Java John's Roasting, and he'll pretty much answer to anything, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, let's do the introduction. We're gonna come back. You're gonna see me. You're gonna see Logan, and we're not gonna have any technical difficulties tonight. I'm feeling good about it. All right, so we'll see you guys in like, I don't know, 12 seconds. Are you ready? Okay, cool. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? We're here. We're live. Oh, I gotta press that. I forgot to press that mute button. But we're back. You should hear Logan. If for whatever reason you don't, make sure that you just let us know in the comments. What's up, everybody? I'm Matt with Beard Laws. You guys know that's Logan Beard Laws too. He's on the Tickety Talk. He's on social media, kind of. But and he's got a beard, and it's coming back, and I'm super excited about it. And welcome back, dude. Hopefully, Logan wasn't able to come last week. He had some family come in from town that he hasn't been able to see a lot. It's his brother, so I'm glad. Hopefully, you guys had some good times and were able to catch up.
Twas. There may have been some staying up late, and may have been some of these.
Some you're in my thoughts. When you're brothers and you're allowed to just kind of stand next to each other, pee, and just talk about what's going on. And what's going on tonight?
Absolutely.
We're interviewing Java John's Coffee. And I'm super excited, like kind of we talked about a little bit earlier. And he's super excited because he's got some cool things going on, not only on the social media, but the business. And what's even amazing is we're big fans of the Java John's Coffee, and especially the little love notes that he puts on there. I don't know if everybody else gets them. If not, then I did that one myself. I don't know. And if anybody happens to be listening to this on whatever podcast you're listening on to, Spotify or Apple, whatever it is, I don't deal with Apple products, but I'm glad you're listening to it there, Stitcher or whatever else. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. But if you ever want to watch the show live, not to take away from that platform, but come on over. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Beard Laws, YouTube, Facebook, or the Talking Beards Network. Thanks to everybody that's on the Talking Beards Network as well. We truly appreciate you. And yeah, Tuesday we do Triple T. It's wild. We had a good little time Tuesday, and we did a cool little segment for our friends at Drunk Engineers. And I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna get this video, and we're gonna show you guys an amazing product from an amazing company, and then we're gonna get this guest in here, and this is gonna be a whole episode of surprises. We have another co-host that we're bringing in who has been on the show before, because you can't talk coffee without this other guy. So let's show this cool little we're going to show this cool little video from one of our friends, Drunk Engineers, and then we'll be right back, and we're going to bring in somebody else. Yeah, let's do it. DrunkEngineers.ca. You guys can get your home of the pump action shotgun tool. This is the pump action shotgun tool. Yeah, it kind of looks like a toilet, but we came up with so many cool slogans, and by we, it was Dobby. It was Beard Gang Actual. The boys had some cool slogans. You guys can get it for $27.95. Use the promo code BeardLaws. And if it doesn't work, then just pay full price. Stop being so goddamn cheap. But I don't think it really works. That's what I tell everybody. Use Beard Laws. I don't know if it works on any of these sites. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But then Joe Myers is going to come in here and he's going to say, hey, use JM86. That's going to save you 10%. But if he doesn't say it, then the hell with Joe Myers. Just pay full price. So we were talking about having a guest, because you can't talk coffee without a guy that has a show, Coffee Talk, and he's also been on the show before. So let's bring in our dude, Liquid. Shano. What's up, dude?
What's up, boys? How you doing, guys?
We're doing fantastic. Appreciate you taking some of your busy Thursday to come in and talk about this amazing dude.
It's going to be a great time. Look at these are some sexy mugs on this screen right now, man. I'm telling you, that hat, you're rocking that hat like nobody's business, my friend. I love it.
Because I think it is nobody's business to rock that hat unless you're like, unless you're
fantastic.
Listen, unless you're a little more Eastern, like in the Boston area.
Mm-hmm.
Boston.
Truth.
Or unless you're as amazing as Java John.
Unless you're a small little French, Canadian, Irish ginger.
Oh, that's an interesting combination. That explains so many things in life.
Who married a freckled.
Mm-hmm. Super freckled.
Oh, nice.
But
good combo.
As you guys could see, we have the coffee theme going on. I Googled coffee hex code to get these colors, and this is apparently what coffee looks like. But when I think coffee, not only do I think Liquid Shano, I think Java John's. All right. So obviously, Liquid Shano, you are a good friend of his as well. You have anything before that you want to say that he cannot defend himself on? Because he's not live on here yet. So if there's anything, he's chilling backstage. I'm going to let you say a couple of things so he's got a little bit of some ammunition for when he comes in here. And YouTube, that's not real ammunition. It's words. So don't take us down. We're just
don't block us. Don't make anything happen. No, listen, I'm just gonna say positive things about this dude, man. I'm inspired by this guy. We're gonna hear the whole story, but I'm telling you, man, this guy literally gave up everything to go for his dream about these little brown beans over here that are just like to my left and right. To do that and give everything up to do that, that's amazing to me. And that's something that it inspires me to just grind and get after it. Literally grind and get after it.
I see what you did there.
Oh, yeah.
Do that.
Oh, yeah. And you got to get, I don't know. There was something there, but I feel like it was very inappropriate. So I'm going to let that one go. But that's something I'm glad that you used the word inspire because it's a couple of, points that I've made throughout here. So as you know, we do a little guest introduction. Let's do the guest introduction. Let's bring him in. He's waiting backstage, and I don't know what Logan left for him back there, but sometimes there's a little bit of some weird stuff in the backstage in the studio. So
the petting zoo couldn't make it. So basically, he's just been making coffee mugs out of Legos, and it's odd because he's not wearing a shirt.
Oh, well, no, that's not odd for him. He's used to not wearing
that's not odd.
Yeah, no.
But I was just confused.
Ooh, Lego coffee mug. There's one good idea that comes from every Beard Laws production. Man. Maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the one. But quick before we do that, what's up, everybody? I want to say hey to Nick H. Usually the first one that makes a comment. King Grimlock's in the house. And we got Bearded Tater Turtle. What's up, my dude? We got Susan. We got Laura from the UK. And it's like 5 a.m. there or something crazy. Joe Meyer says, Java. But I don't think he's here anymore. Maybe he's had too much Java. And we got so many amazing people in here. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really, really do appreciate every single one of you. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and click this off. Let's do the introduction. Then we're gonna bring him in. He's ready. We chatted backstage. He's good. Let's do this. You think I'd be ready just to press the button, but there's a lot of things I gotta scroll through. So I should organize them better. Let's go. As mentioned, tonight's guest is Java John. He's a man who started TikTok as Java Johnny and with some beard content showing off his heated beard brush routine. And it was at that moment I knew we would be friends. A man who has made more coffee on camera than Todd Carmichael of Dangerous Grounds. A man who has had his shirt off more on TikTok than Joe Wash Official. A man who gets told he looks like Jack Black often, but definitely better looking. No offense, Jack Black. He's on my show, not you. A man who went through a phase rocking a cowboy hat, pretending to be Walker, Texas Ranger. A man who likes the clever dripper brew method, which is ironic because I'm pretty sure Logan's named his wiener clever dripper after a pretty rough 20s. A man who posts more TikToks than a teenage girl with daddy issues. A man who quit his job to pursue his dream and is a huge inspiration. A man who we are proud to call our bearded brother, the one, the only, Java John!
Figure I should put this back on.
Yeah, this shirt's got to come on now. You can take it off. Let's go.
I didn't think you had one on. So
yeah, I bought a shirt just for you guys. Just for you guys.
Nice. Well, hey, it's a great looking shirt, and all kidding aside, thanks for joining.
Yeah, dude.
Congratulations on everything you got going on.
Thanks, man.
You're what, 225,000-ish on TikTok. The other social medias are blowing up. But at the end of the day, you have some of the most amazing coffee that I've ever had. And I'm not out here being like a coffee connoisseur because I can't spell connoisseur. But I love coffee, and I can tell when it's really good or it tastes like shit. And your stuff's amazing.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, man.
So, so one question we start off every single guest with, because we keep trying to say, hey, Logan's going to learn how to do YouTube and trim and edit and put some stuff together. But we ask them all the same question. So what got you into TikTok? Because everybody has a little bit of a story, whether it's I wanted to pursue the brand, whether it's like COVID hit, but everybody has a little bit of a different story. So I want to hear yours.
Yeah, right on, dude. It was boredom. I think a lot of people start with that. And so, I mean, the pandemic had hit and I'd quit my job. I was roasting coffee. And at the time I was roasting coffee for 15 hours a day on a machine that would only do 1 pound at a time. And I was in like a little 13-foot Shasta trailer. And I was going to real estate school because it was kind of like if this falls through, maybe I can sell houses kind of thing. And, just to the point where I was like, okay, I don't want to read another book. I don't want to watch another class. I'm tapped out of Netflix and Hulu and like all these other streaming services. And I was just kind of like, I'm going to download TikTok, see what these youngsters are doing on here. And I started just kind of scrolling through, and I just found myself just cracking up laughing, and just like, just dying and be like, man, this is incredible. And then the more that I liked things and commented on things, the better that it got. The more the algorithm found like, oh, this guy likes this kind of content. I was like, I sure do, TikTok. And, and so I just kind of enjoyed it. And so then I posted my first video, which was just me like coming out my beard. And then I don't know, just kind of from there, I don't remember what video it was, but it wasn't too far into the journey. I had a video pop off for several 100,000, and I was like, well, that's pretty dope. And then that was actually my first TikTok. I took my shirt off. I was dancing next to this really fit dude, and I was like, dude can play this game. So I took my shirt off and was like, look at me, I can dance too, Mr. Muscles.
Joe Wash official.
Was it Joe Wash official? And right on. And so I did that. And then like 2 days later, I posted a TikTok about how I quit my job during a pandemic. Like kind of told the story in like 9 seconds to just some dumb song that was on there that was like snapping its finger. And man, that video like overnight was like 300,000 views, and my entire store was bought out. And I was like, okay, crap just got real. Like this just got legit. And so, so that was kind of my beginning TikTok journey. Like it all started with boredom. And then, you just start to make friends, and you start to like do all sorts of, networking, and then even people they don't become friends with. Like I've thought about quitting TikTok a couple times, but it just gets to be kind of a bear sometimes. But like back in Christmas time, between Christmas and New Year's, it was about 12 people send me a message, because I post a lot of positivity content too. Yeah. And I had about 12 people send me a message like, hey, this year sucked. And I was like, yeah, I know this year did suck. And they're like, I want to let you know, like I thought of like ending my life a lot, and like videos like yours pushed me through. And I was like, well, now I can't quit.
No,
like if dumb me is helping people mentally, I got to stay around. And so it's been a lot of fun. So just kind of sharing the journey a little bit.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
so one thing too, kind of we always like to ask is, do you remember one of the first people you followed? Because they say you always remember your first.
I think the first person I followed was Giggle Hut.
Okay.
Like her, she was at like 20,000 followers at the time. And like, I viewed that as like massive creator. And it's dope. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
But like I went into, like, I saw one of her videos, and then it was like flashing. I was like, what's it like flashing? I don't understand what's flashing. I was like, oh, she's live. And I clicked on it, and then she acknowledged my presence. And I was like, oh, that's freaking dope. And I was like, followed. And I think she's the first one that I remember following. And she was the first larger creator. She's like 350K now. One of the first larger to me creators that I was like, oh man, some of these people actually care. Yeah. And that's pretty cool. And so I think that was my first. It's the first of like merit that I remember that I followed.
That you remember, yeah. So do you remember the first person that followed you that you kind of fangirled a little bit? Not the first person that followed you, but one of the people that followed you, and you were just kind of like, or whatever.
Man, I think when I really went nuts, because I hate to be that way, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
like a lot of times it's just kind of like, oh, cool, another person that got lucky online followed me. But I put out a video with a Smiley crew, like talking to Ed Dudes and JT and those guys. And I was just kind of like, hey, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but you're all tall, dark, and handsome. And you need someone that's short, fat. Can I be your Jack Black type? And then they all responded with yes. And like during that time, I was kind of like, all right, this is pretty dope. Because like two of the guys had over 1 million followers. I was like, holy crap, they even saw of it? Because I'm nowhere near 1 million, and I miss videos every freaking day of people that send me, and I was like, it's just so cool that they cared enough to like even respond. I'd say that's the one time that I was kind of like, ooh, freaking out a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah,
man, when you fangirl, it kind of sounds like a ghost is there. Like,
yeah, that was like it was haunted. Ooh.
We'll save that. Use that for a drop later.
Yeah, that's gonna be my it's gonna be my text tone.
That's perfect.
So
I'll
make sure to send it to you. But
I appreciate you.
So you asked early on in your I'll say your TikTok career, what is one of the most random quarantine purchases? So you asked everybody. So now I want to ask you, what is one of your most random quarantine purchases?
Man, I would say it's the same as when I made that video. I for some dumb reason, I ordered an entire case of pineapples from Maui. I had some friends that were just like they went there on their honeymoon and they're talking about how good they were and they might order some. And I was like, well, I bet I'm going to order some too. And it was like not 10 days later, I had this, it was like 12 pineapples. And I was like, we don't eat pineapples like this, but we are now. And it was dope. They sent they messed my order up. So they sent this jar of tropical flower honey. And it was like, I was like, can you slap my beard on that and let me sell it? And it was so dope. But yeah, that's my most ridiculous purchase during the quarantine. I bought all sorts of stupid stuff. I bought a puppy, I bought, I bought a cajon little drum. Like randomly I'd buy all sorts of crud. But the crate of pineapples.
The
crate of pineapples did it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah.
And from Hawaii. I didn't email Dole and be like, yo, can I get some pineapples? I was like, we're going to Maui. I'm going to the source, although I guess the source is technically Honduras, but it's like I'm going to the source of American pineapples, by God. So they're gonna be 3 times as expensive and hopefully 3 times as delicious. And they were amazing. Straight up. One of the best things I've ever put in my mouth. And look at me. I've put a lot in my mouth. And so it's truly incredible. Stop it.
So it was 3 times better.
It was.
There was a lot of ways we could have taken that.
I know.
Yeah, that was going down a turn.
As soon as it came out, I was like, this is a really bad idea.
Mm-hmm. It was going.
Yeah. This could be the first time, but we chose the professional route here.
I'm proud of you.
And,
I saw Logan. I think Logan literally choked. He was like, "Huh."
Yes. Yeah, he's not going to be able to stand up for the rest of the episode, but you had him at pineapple.
Yeah.
There's always, he was a big fan of that movie where the guy was doing things to pies and he heard pineapple when he was a kid, allegedly, and was just like, that was his fruit.
Oh, man.
Hence the name, Clever Dripper.
Clever Dripper. Nice.
Yes, Clever Dripper.
Nice.
I said that too, and I was like, man, I couldn't believe that you kept it together fairly well. So this may be a dumb question, but I feel like this is a question that a lot of people have either maybe already asked you or they think about. So why coffee? Why is it that the coffee is the dream and the passion? And this is going to be an easy one for you to answer because it is your dream and your passion.
Yeah, right on. So I just love good coffee. I have for a very, very long time, well over 10 years, maybe as long as 15. Like every other coffee drinker, I started out with Folgers and Maxwell House and had an addiction to Starbucks. And I'd roll through Dunkin'. I'd go get the dollar coffee at McDonald's. But then it's kind of like they were like gateway coffees. And I just slowly worked my way up to I really, really need better things in my life. And then I had my second child. Which means I had significantly less money in my life.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can't afford $15 to $20 a bag for something that's incredibly dope. And so I just kind of like I went to Avoca Coffee Roasters on Magnolia Street in Fort Worth, Texas. And the roaster there, his name's Gerald. He's retired. He like got paid out or something, moved to Alaska. But I saw him teaching a class in the background, teaching people how to roast on an air pop popcorn machine. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I can figure that out on my own. I'm not going to pay for your class. Sorry, Gerald. And I went home and I ordered a $20 from Sweet Maria's. Actually, I ordered a $20 air pop popper, and I ordered 8 pounds of raw coffee, and the first like 7 pounds were trash. We drank it, but I was like, maybe this isn't a hobby that I'm going to get into. And then I got on that 8th pound and we made it. And I was finally like kind of dialed in, like, what does it need to look like? What does it need to smell like? When do I need to pull it off? And we drank it. And like, I remember me and my wife both were just kind of like, oh, that hit different. And then, from there just kind of snowballed. We'd have family and friends over and they'd be like, hey, where'd you get this coffee? And I'd be like, I made it. And they'd be like, well, yeah, you made it. And I'm like, no, dummy, like I roasted it on my back porch. Like it's mine. And then that turned into like, hey, could I like get some like for me? I'm like, sure you can. That'd be $15, and it's like, can I get some for a gift? It's like, sure you can, and then we started helping like churches and private schools and started using as a fundraiser. It's like, hey, we're taking a group to Uganda. And I'm like, well, let's order 500 pounds of Ugandan coffee and let's do this right. And, so I started kind of getting on a bigger scale, like doing it that way. And man, I just fell in love with it. And so it got to the point where I was just like, it was always one of those things like, man, I'd love to work in coffee forever, but I had an awesome job that I loved. I made really great money. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, hey, we're closing all of our stores. And I was like, well, that sucks. And then I went to a job and I made really great money. But for a year, I was literally miserable. Like a year and a half ago, I was in the hospital. They thought I had a stroke. Pretty sure it was just anxiety, but I hated that job. Great company. Not for me. And then like from there, it was like, okay, we're miserable enough that we're willing to like take a risk on our dreams. And that was at the very beginning of the pandemic. And so that's kind of where the journey of how and the why of coffee. But I'm a coffee nerd. I don't want to say snob because snobs like actually care about what you drink. I don't give a rip. Yeah. Drink whatever makes you happy. But I'm a coffee nerd. Like I can nerd out a long time on like really dumb coffee stuff. So yeah, I just love it. Just love it.
Sorry, whenever Squeak comes in the chat, we always have to yell, shout out Squeak's Beard.
Squeak's Beard.
I love it.
So we did there.
Squeak.
So a lot of people want to know, where do they buy the pineapples of all the things that they want to know where to buy? Apparently,
man, I don't
pineapples is the thing.
Like just search like Maui pineapples. I forget the company, honestly.
It's probably after you drinking a whole pint of that little cider you were drinking at 2 o'clock in the morning. When
that 80 proof apple juice, and but it's I don't know, man. I really forget what it was called. I mean, I can give you the link and you can like put it in the comments below later.
Cool. But either way, if you guys want to buy something absolutely amazing, there's a link in the chat called JavaJohns.coffee. There's no pineapples there, but there is some amazing coffee merchandise. Even you can rent a coffee trailer, and he's even going to let you know his top picks.
Oh, top picks.
Yeah, his top picks. That's what it says. Java John top picks.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, those top picks. Yeah, dude. So those top picks are like brew methods and stuff. Like it takes you to like affiliate links. Like people are constantly like, hey, what's that device you use? I'm like, it's a Clever Dripper. Go to my top picks and click on it. And so yeah, that'll show you like how I brew my coffee a lot from that top picks.
Yeah. You should definitely try it out, guys. It's amazing. And I'm not just saying that. As you guys can see, I have it here. So I just want to ask you, do you do the love notes to everybody, or am I just special?
I feel that looks great.
So on that package, he literally wrote in the comment field, draw me a picture. And
I think I put paint me like one of your French girls.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah.
I walked in and like I said hi, like under my breath, and as I'm sitting down, I see this. I almost wanted just to be like, oh shit, I made a wrong turn. I'm in the wrong beard log.
Where am I? What am I doing?
I'm flipping out here because shit got weird. I missed 1 week. All of a sudden, shit got weird.
I love it.
Love you, buddy. I'm out.
Yes, and that was, you know what I mean? Obviously, that is by far gone. That coffee is gone. That was a while ago.
Saving the bag.
Yeah, I'm going to save the bag forever because you painted me like one of your French girls.
Yeah, I got you, fam. Yeah, so like,
really do it.
I figured that would be what he needed, but it's like every once in a while, I try to meet the request, with the TikTok stuff. And it feels weird, but like people will write in and be like, can you sign my bag? Or can you make this out as a gift to so-and-so? Or my mom loves you. Like, can you do? And so I'll do like special things on the
Can you
bag.
put your balls in before you send it?
I'm not gonna have that one yet.
Oh, okay.
No, but it's,
well, I better make another order. No, I'm just kidding, everybody. Well, listen, we have a little bit of some breaking news.
Yeah,
All right, we
let's
have
do
some
it.
breaking news,
Uh-oh.
and I'm just gonna do this, and I think you'll get it. So, as you
terrified.
can see there, Masked Interviewer. So
Yeah.
there's a little segment that we try to do on all of the shows called Masked Interviewer, where there's going to be an
Yeah.
interviewer who's, masks. And so what they're going to do is you guys are going to have a conversation, Java Johns and the Masked Interviewer. You guys are going to talk. We're going to sit back and enjoy the show.
Appreciate
You
you.
can ask them as many questions as you would like,
Right.
but I am going to say, hey, I need a guess from you.
Right.
You get 3 guesses. If you guess it correctly, they will reveal themselves. If you guess incorrectly, they go back into the pool of masked interviewers. Could they be people that have already been masked interviewers?
Maybe.
Maybe. Could
That's
they have
right.
never been in there? But there's one common denominator. I'm pretty sure you know who they are, but there's a
Okay.
chance that you might not. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
Who
really
knows?
bad at this sometimes. So
Can everyone
They pop up and I'm like, oh, hey. Do you follow?
Yeah,
Let's
oh,
follow
them.
each other.
I froze. There we go. Look at that.
oh, look at that. You froze.
I froze.
So Logan's probably going to have to do some tech work. But yeah, that's one thing too. Everybody in the chat, please hold your comments. If I see anybody guessing, even if it's just absurd, like Fabio or Jack Black or something, I'm
Ooh,
just
Jack
going to probably
Black,
put you in
that'd be
timeout for 5 minutes. And let's be honest, we're all grown-ass adults. Nobody wants to go in timeout. So please, starting right now, go ahead, Nick H. That's your warning. That's your warning. All right. No more guesses. If we see any guesses, then we are going to go ahead and put the users in timeout for 5 minutes. And listen, he said he didn't remember. Do you not listen to the show? He says, I don't remember the site. Just type in Maui pineapples.
Yeah. You'll
Google.
find them.
Here,
You'll find
it's
them.
here. I'll put it in there. It's google.com or Ask Jeeves. Okay. All
Ask
right. So
Jeeves,
mass
do that one.
interviewer. Are you ready for the mass interviewer segment? I think
Yeah, as ready as I'm going to
I can
be.
do the unplug. Yeah. All right. Let's do this. Ready? Go.
Well, that's
Mass
scary.
interviewer, Java John's mass interviewer.
It's terrifying. How are you, masked interviewer?
Mass interviewer, I believe your mic might be on mute, but I'm not 100% sure. Nothing is coming out. 1 second, or he flipped us off. I'm not sure.
I think it was the bird. Yeah.
I think it was the bird. I think
so.
the mass interviewer gave us the finger. My dog is fighting me for beer.
Oh, that's scary.
That's awesome.
I hope it's a small dog.
Yes. And then when we'll ask that question, Jesse, in a little bit. We'll ask that because we're in the mass interviewer.
I'm really bad at this kind of stuff. Like I'm super stressed right now.
Don't
Like,
stress.
My anxiety is high. My blood pressure just went up.
We're just all
I
here.
blame you guys. No, I have to win. I have to.
The dog is definitely going to win.
Well, the mass interview is very scary. He's very scary.
We're
It's
gonna
ominous
get the mass
looking.
interviewer backstage.
Yeah, get outta here,
They'll give us the
mass
thumbs up. So
interviewer.
while we're doing that, Jesse wants to know when will you have the Honduran and the Mexican tiger back in stock?
Honduran, I can put back in stock almost immediately. Honduran will be back in stock by Monday. Mexican tiger is harder. So that comes from very specific farm in Mexico, and I'm having a hard time getting my hands on it right now. So
Nice.
yeah, so it might be a minute. So try it.
I think Matt just went to go look for a beer loss. Just went to go mess around with the mass marauder back there.
I think so
They're
too.
colluding, man.
Yeah. So I was thinking too. I'm like,
They're out to get you, man.
like
Don't let her win.
like,
Do not let Java John win.
that's right. He's like, I will cut you.
Stressful about.
No, I'm kind of joking.
While we're here, by the way, I didn't get a bag of coffee with a sexy photo. I need one of those.
You just gotta put it in the yeah, I'm just thinking of future things that might get a little awkward. But
All right, Logan's back. The mass interviewer's back.
oh, so I know the mass interviewer isn't Logan, so that's good.
Yes,
That's good.
that was, we should have tried this.
It's like Logan's in the background. I'm like, sure he is. All right,
All right,
mass interviewer.
Are you
Trying
able to talk?
again to talk.
Whoa.
That's scary. Super scary. So how are you? How are you, master interviewer?
Better now that I have whiskey and you can actually hear me.
Better now that you have whiskey. And you can, awesome. Oh, like straight up drinking the whiskey from the bottle. I'm proud of you. That's dope. That's dope. All right. So are we friends on TikTok?
You would say that.
I would say that, would I?
Wow.
Are you in the coffee business at all?
I would possibly say that.
Do you make coffee syrups?
Why would you ask that?
Because I think you're coffee fanatics.
That's guess number one. Master interviewer, are you coffee fanatics?
Hold on 1 second. Oh crap! How do I change my filters?
I am him. I'm sorry.
I'm in the Matrix. I can't get out.
Dang it! No.
Wow, that could be a record.
Because I'm a winner, son. I'm a winner. You don't want me here. I'll break your games.
Unreal. How much did you offer to have him win coffee tonight?
Yeah, there's something going
Was it
on
like
here.
a
There's something
bag,
going
2
on.
bags? Or was it just obvious because he was coffee?
No. Well, yeah, when I ask coffee, oh no, I have probably 14 or 15 like pretty close friends that are in coffee now on TikTok.
There we go.
But I kind of put 2 and 2 together. He's in coffee and y'all are already connected. And we're buddies.
Mic issues every
Yeah,
time
right?
on Triple T.
Not every time. What? No, it's just I'll hit.
He's like, not every time, just when I do this.
Oh yeah.
Just when I touch the microphone, don't touch it.
There's a button right here, and it's so easy to move, and then that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
There it goes.
This is exactly like, and how are we not going to have coffee fanatics and Liquid Shano and Java John? Like,
Right on.
actually, probably the 3 people that I know in the coffee business, like in the coffee game. Like, I got to pair them all up. So,
Yeah, right on.
yeah, you have. Speaking of dumb, everybody say hi to Joe Myers.
What up, Joe?
Yo.
Get it.
Sorry, I think I called you dumb, but I meant it. So obviously, that's Coffee Fanatics. He's going to switch some lighting around. He's got a samurai sword, and so I appreciate it. And Coffee Fanatics, if you gotta go, you gotta go. If you want to stick around and continue to talk with us about coffee, feel free.
I guess I'll chill. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. He says he's like, I guess I will. Like,
Let me put my light back because like it was just
Celebrate.
behind me, and I just
yeah. Figure that you got this.
He's like,
All right.
I have a date at 10:05, but I guess I can stay till 10.
We're gonna go a little bit bigger on this. Yeah, and that's what he says. So so we talked about coffee and we talked about this. So you've had many cups of coffee in your day. And this is gonna go, and not only am I'm gonna have Java John answer first, but then I want Shane and I want Coffee Fanatics to answer this as well. Logan, you're not much of a coffee guy, right?
I am not.
So I mean you could answer as well.
My dad's breath growing up was more than enough coffee for me.
Yes.
He would be literally 4 or 5 cups in by like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Sounds about right.
Wake me up and go like this right over my head. Be like,
So you said
Wake
that, and I
up.
thought I misheard it. I was like, his breath. Okay, whatever. Oh.
Yes. So you guys have all had many cups of coffee in your day.
Yeah, dude.
That's without a doubt. So what do you think? And this is going to be a 2-parter that I want you both to kind of think about. What would you consider one of, and we're not going to say the best because it's hard to say, one of the best cups of coffee that you've ever had? Obvious choice is obviously Java John's, and you're welcome to go with that. But if anybody doesn't want to, there's no judgment here. But I also want to say, what is one of the worst cups of coffee that you've ever had as well? Because I feel like that might be a little bit tougher to decide at the same point. But I'm super curious on this.
and they can still say Java John's if they're being
They
honest.
could.
Yeah.
They could. They definitely could. Hey, if it's honesty, it's fair. But if I know you,
I mean, it could be good
Kick that
coffee,
out
and then you
life.
accidentally put like curdled milk in it.
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
that's still a bad.
And it would
cup
still
of
make
coffee.
it, yes. And it would
That's
still make
right.
it one of the worst cups that
Cups,
you've
right
ever had.
on.
I'm happy to say that I've never had curdled milk in coffee yet.
Amen. I have, but I poured it out. I saw it.
Oh, there we go.
So
All right, do you guys want to answer this real quick?
yeah. Let's do it.
Laura's, and then we'll get into that. It'll give you guys a little more time to think.
Answer Laura's.
Yeah, let's answer
Yeah.
Laura.
So I've
She's asked a couple times.
I've
Sorry,
had
Laura.
civet coffee. Yeah, the civet coffee. So it's cat's ass coffee is what's like really, really known as. So you have a Kopi Luwak coffee.
Yep.
And it's like $200 an ounce. Like it's redonkulously expensive. And so like it's not the best cup of coffee I've ever had. Like it's labeled best cup.
It's okay.
It's all right. The reason it's so good is because it's low acidity. And so it goes through that creature's intestines and then comes out like a payday bar, and then they wash it off and they process it and they roast it, they send it to you. And so since it goes through that process, it's had the acidity of the stomach pulling out the acidity of the bean. And so when you get it, most people, when they try it, they're blown away because like, man, there's no acid. It's super, super smooth, very mild. And I'm like, yeah. I can do that, but not for $200 an ounce.
Yeah, it's called cold brew.
Yeah. Well, and even hot coffees, man. Like I got hot coffees that you could drink all day long, and he'd be like, "Oh my god, it's so smooth." And he'd be like,
that's
"Yeah."
The one where the animal
come out of an animal,
shits it out, and then they use the bean.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question, and I'm not trying to like this is me really wondering, what's the animal?
It's
like a cat kind of
It's like
thing.
I thought it was like
called
that pirate animal that Toby
Kapalua
looked up
or
that
yeah,
last time.
Kopi Luwak.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what happens hypothetically? Okay.
If they use
If the animal has a bunch of these beans and then the animal potentially becomes a meal, do you think it would be pretty good, like a coffee roasted?
Depends on how you roast it.
Maybe serve it with some rice and some onions and some peppers and some, I don't know.
That'd be the least of my worries. Here's
Yeah.
my thing. This animal's like a cat-ish thing, right? Okay, so what happens if it has worms?
Well, it's
Take that out of the poop.
yeah. I mean, it's extremely well processed. Like it's not like you don't get it and there's not chunks on it. It's like you get it and it's
You request
pretty
that.
awesome.
Processed
Yeah,
worms.
it's like, but can I have the chunks? I've had it. Like I was given to me as a gift like 3 years ago, and I was so excited. And then after I tried it, I was like, oh,
I just had
well,
worms.
that's not the best I've ever had.
Were you so excited you just couldn't hide it? And you were like, come on.
Nice.
Yeah, something like that.
Well played. Well played.
I
Right.
do
So,
want to make the most expensive coffee in the world, though, as much gold flakes as I need to, just to say
Yeah.
that I did it.
There you go.
Should
There
do
you
a
go.
gold flogger.
Ooh.
And make it happen. That's
Yeah.
right.
It's funny though when you poop out those little gold chunks. So Laura says,
And then you
"Thank
go cash them
I've
in.
always wanted to know the hype behind it, and I think there are some pun intended right there behind it. So
Ooh.
let's go ahead. We'll go Java John, we'll go Shane, and then we'll go Coffee Fanatics. Let's hear your top cup of coffee, and then let's go your worst cup.
Yeah, right on. So, I mean, I love my coffee. And so, I mean, I'm going to say that I'm one of the best that you can have. But like I roast coffee, like I'm like very few people have my cup that I make. So I would say, man, it's so hard. Can I give a couple?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So the best espresso that I've ever had came out of Augie's in Southern California. I call it my God shot. I've never had an espresso that good. I had a 1-in-1. So I had 1 ounce of espresso, 1 ounce of a cortado, and then sparkling water. And it was the first time that I ever had an espresso that I was like, oh man, this isn't super acidic or it's not super bitter. It was just like I went and got another one. My heart wasn't happy, but I went and got another one. It was so good. The best cold brew I've ever had, it's called the White Zinfandel cold brew. There's no wine in it, but it's from Reborn Coffee in Brea, California. It hits different. After I tried it, I found out that like every year they win like best cold brew in America, like through the SCAA. And so it's like super dope.
And you didn't know that going into it? Like
No. I
Wow.
So like,
good. Yeah.
I had a job where I traveled the West Coast and I had a list of like 82 coffee shops I wanted to visit, and they were just on my list. And so they were super dope. And then my favorite cup of just straight up coffee, it was a Chemex from Olympia Coffee Roasters up in Seattle. Okay. And it was just super, super smooth. Like it was a light Ethiopian. It was very, very floral, very fruity. And I was like, man, this is awesome. So outside of my own, because I make some dope coffee, those would be the ones that I was just like, man, this is awesome. And then the worst, man, I'm afraid to say the worst because I don't want to get sued.
Real quick though, is the Chemex really worth the hype in your opinion?
If you do it right.
I agree.
So the Chemex just makes a really clean cup. Yeah. But like I responded to a video on TikTok the other day where a lady was like, oh, and she used a Chemex. She's like, everybody should do pour over. It's so easy. And I was like, not if it's not. Like you really need to practice. It is easy to do. You just pour water, but if you don't like do it right, you might as well just have a drip pot.
Yeah, and ratios are off. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Or if your grind is off, or I mean, there's so many like factors that can mess up a good pour over. And so so for me, Chemex is worth the hype. It's what I drink almost every day. But
so for worse, if it's a company or an organization, we can get creative with it and not say the actual name.
Well,
like
also, all you're doing is saying that it's not for your taste buds. You don't have to bash it and be like, I think
it's garbage.
I mean,
not for me.
Like hypothetically, say you had one of the worst ones at the Bucks that had a star on it. There's ways we can be creative about that.
I no longer work there, so you can make fun of them all you want.
I'll be honest. I think one of the worst that I had, and people are gonna like go after me for this, is like I had cold brew from Dunkin', and I was like, I do not get the hype. I was like, this is all water. Like this is all because like I like my cold brew like pretty strong, man, with just like a splash of milk. And so I got that. I was like, hey, give me cold brew, splash of milk. So it's pretty dark, and I tasted it. I was like, did you put like a splash of milk and like 3/4 water? Like, what are you doing here? So it was pretty gross. But it's not my thing. Like people love it. And so in our philosophy, like our mission statement with Java John is we want to help you find your best cup. And so like if your best cup is the cold brew from Dunkin', do you? I'm glad you found it. That's dope. I had a guy the other day that was like, well, I like the cheap 8 o'clock coffee, like trying to come at me. I was like, that's awesome. Then you don't need my coffee. But I had that recently actually. And like, I poured it out. I got it. I spent a few bucks on it. I took a sip. I was like, ugh. And my daughter, who's 9, was like, what? And I gave it to her, and she goes, ugh. And we chunked it. And because my kids love coffee, and so those would be. I wanted to give a shout out on my best to some awesome roasters that have amazing coffee. But on that worst, it's always big brands where I get my worst.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, me personally, we have a in the city near where we are, there's a Dunkin' and a Tim Hortons. You know what I mean? And like my girlfriend, she's like, I've never had a Tim Hortons, and so she went there and she was like, man, I think I like Dunkin's better. Yeah. We're just out and about and, and I'm just like, all right, well, I guess, that's where we have problems. But, but again, this morning, even most mornings, it's Java John's in our mug. So, all right. So Shane, you're up.
So I mean, because Java John's is on here, and he's one of the ones that first got me hooked on, to be honest with you, on medium roast. I've always been a dark roast guy. I've always been, whatever it was. So when I first met him, I was like, listen, let's see all the hype that we got with Java John's here. I said, tell me what you got. So you had the Brazil and the Colombian with the darker versions of what was. So I was like, okay, good. Let me try those out. And they were knock your socks off. And then he sent me a bag of the Mexican Tiger, which is the medium roast, right? And he says, you got to try this. And I said, okay, all right, here we go. And so I'm like, okay, seriously, this medium roast, like, and he goes, and you can't do it with a bunch of creamer or anything like that. Just do it a black cup of coffee and tell me what you think of it. It's the first time I've had a medium roast or a lighter type of roast like that I haven't had to add something to it to be able to really just add, you know what I mean, to enhance whatever it was. I drink that stuff straight black out of the cup, and it's one of the best cups of coffee I've ever had. So shout out to John for turning me on to the medium roast like that, even though it has more caffeine in it than it does with the or sort of more caffeine, as we've had that conversation around the brewing aspect of it. But I don't brew coffee, but I'll tell you the best espresso I ever had was when I was in the Navy. I was overseas. I was in Paris. And we're sitting out of one of those little outside little veranda little places with the scenery all on the outside. And I think it was more about the scenery than it was anything else. But I sat there and I felt so fancy with my little biscuit and my little espresso. And I was like, with the pinky out and everything. And I was like, this is so good. And it was like a moment in time. And it was amazing. Dope.
Yeah, Italians know their coffee. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you, one of the best iced coffees I ever had was here in Maine. We have this place called Holy Donut that makes all potato donuts, man. They're amazing, right? And
I've been to Holy Donut.
You have? Nice, nice. And they're all iced coffee. They take their cubes, and I know it's something simple, right? It's something simple, but they freeze all their coffee into the cubes, right? Yeah. So you're not going to get a watered down version. You're going to get a nice, a good brew. It tastes delicious. It's really good, and they drop those right in there, so you're not watered down with any ice cubes with the iced coffee. Because I'm an iced coffee guy too. So yeah. And my worst, to be honest with you, was my mom. She knows I love coffee so much, and she decides one day, she goes, "I'm going to send send my son some coffee that I order on the internet. I'm just going to go pick it out somewhere. And she sent me this coffee it's called J-O, and it had a little exclamation point over the O. And I was like, I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it was, but I tried that coffee, and I'm going to tell you what, see, I don't have to worry about getting sued because I don't make coffee. I'll tell you what, it was the worst bag of coffee I've ever had. I had one sip of it, and that bad boy went right into the circular file. I was like, goodbye. It's got to go. I'm not having this anymore. Worst coffee ever.
That's
So
funny.
those are my two, man. That's good enough for me.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah, your mom has ordered coffee for you from me. I remember that.
She has. Yeah.
So,
She's
cool.
my whole family. That sounded weird, didn't it? Yeah. No. Listen, my whole family has ordered from you, John. Like seriously, now everybody orders Java Johns, and they love it, man. They love your coffee.
That's awesome. Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, coffee fanatics.
That was so weird to hear Holy Donut. That actually kind of like
I saw you.
I saw the
perk up.
Bruin shirt. Yeah, and I was like, the potato donuts.
Yes.
Anyhow,
No, I saw the Bruin shirt and wanted to throw up, but I couldn't figure out how to get his camera any lower. I was trying to hack his computer to give it an angle up, but it's just not working out.
That's awesome.
So I will say this: I'm gonna purposely choose the worst coffee as one of the best ones because the roaster themselves purposely made it to teach me how to make a bad shot and why it's so important. So I'm gonna start there. The worst one is like. But one of the best, it was the first time I ever went to I went to a roaster to learn about coffee, and they were teaching me about tasting notes. And they were like, hey, so I want you to do me a favor. When you try this next one, think about peach rings, like the candy.
Right.
And I was like, really? And it still tasted like a coffee. It was still like blonde. There was no sugar or anything in it. But like in the back, you tasted all those peach notes. Freaked me out.
Yeah.
Freaked me out. That same person for an espresso shot, they were like, who's the barista in the room when we were doing a cafe training? And they pointed to me. I was like, no, I just really like coffee. I just came from Starbucks. And they're like, okay, well, what should be your shots times? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, that's where you're stupid. And they showed me the perfect shot of like the time. And obviously it's different based off of roaster and what they recommend for a cafe and the machine. And then they were like, okay, so what do you remember around what your shot times were? Because it did still tell us the timer. I was like, I don't know, around like, I'd say about like 35 seconds. And they're like, okay, cool, let's do that.
Yeah.
And before I even started sipping, they're like, I'm going to warn you, it's going to be the most sour coffee you have ever tasted. But I was so happy I did that, despite the fact that my acid reflux was like, reminded me how Jewish I really am. It was just, best cold brew I ever had. I forget the roast too. And this is actually the big thing. I've been trying to figure out which coffee. It was a medium roast. And I quickly made it the day before because I was in a rush and I was doing it for a TikTok video. I was like, oh, here's how to do it. Throw it off on the counter, wait a day. And then I tried it the next day. I was like, this is amazing. And I had 3 different types of coffee on my counter. And I was like, I don't know which one to grab.
It was probably Java John's.
Possibly the Brazil one because freaking I've tried the Brazil one.
Yeah, it's good.
Actually, Java John's, which one?
A coffee with massive caffeine.
Nah, I mean, not for me. So like caffeine content in beans is very, very similar across the board. So like you can get some like Robusta varieties. So like that's what Death Wish does. They get like Robusta, a few different Robusta varieties that have more caffeine. They grow at a higher altitude. They grow with more sun, so the plant gets bigger. And so they can claim a higher caffeine content because they're taking multiples that have a lot of caffeine, throwing them together. But as for like 9 times out of 10, when somebody's like, we have the most caffeine, it's marketing. But I mean, you can get good caffeine content. I mean, there's a lot of caffeine content in cold brew because it's concentrated. Yeah. Like if you like just really want the wake up in the morning, like I don't really like dilute my cold brew. Probably should for the El Ticaro. But it's I like the taste of coffee, and so it's so cold brew will do that for you. But I mean, like even a shot of espresso and a cup of coffee has more caffeine because it's more coffee. Now, if you want to do like 6 shots of espresso and go to the ER later, you can, but it's but yeah, so I don't know. If you need that jolt, find a good Robusta. I mean, they have more caffeine content.
Speaking of cold brew, what would you, from the Java John's collection, would you recommend is the perfect one for cold brew, and like why?
Man, I think our Sumatran honey makes the best cold brew on the planet. But it's because it's fruity. And so like it like legitimately smells like strawberries. And so so you make cold brew with it, and then you're like, why is this so fruity? And
That's so awesome.
it is amazing.
Does it taste like strawberries, or is it just
you I mean it's a flavor profile. You get the hints of it. It's like you don't drink and go, ooh, strawberry milkshake. But yeah, like as because you taste first with your nose, and so like as you're going to sip it and you're breathing in, you get those berry notes, and then you take it in and you actually taste the berry. And so I mean it's not overwhelming, but like I've legitimately opened up the bag before and had like people in my home be like, oh, do you get strawberries? And I'm like, nope. Sumatran honey, and it makes a killer smooth fruity cold brew. I want to enter it this year in like some kind of contest to see what it does. But yeah, it's dope.
It's quicker than me with that Google.
That is rare. I had that open. Don't worry about that. So it's a raw honey, raisins, and caramelized sugar, cold brewed, enhances the sweet.
Right. Yeah. So honey processed Sumatrans are very rare. So like there's only one other person in Texas that has a honey processed Sumatran. And they're very, very few like in the nation that have them, because it's a new way to process Sumatran. So Sumatran traditionally has been like a really, really cheap dark roasted filler coffee. So you take something that's super, super light roasted because you want those like sweet upfront floral and fruity notes, and then you dark roast a Sumatran coffee that's just going to be really, really cocoa-y, and you blend them together so that you have a really good like breakfast blend or something that's just awesome for like a cafe. But recently, people in the industry, like importers and coffee shops and various things like that, have been asking the Sumatran processors to like up their game, and like pull out more impurities and actually begin like weighing by density and, separating beans by size. And so the farm that we get that honey Sumatran from, they take coffee very seriously. And so it's super, super unique. Like I was talking to a coffee shop the other day, and I told them I had a honey Sumatra, and they go, wait, a honey processed Sumatran? Like that doesn't exist. It's like, I promise it does. And so, it's super dope. I love it. But then our Sumatran Rhino, it makes a really like traditional chocolatey thick cold brew that's really good too. But my favorite is that Sumatran honey.
Nice. Hey, Matt, I got a question real quick. Do you mind?
Yeah, no, go for it.
So you guys asked me last time when I was on your cast about infused beers, right? Coffee infused beers. What are you guys' opinions on those things? Because we had a good roundtable discussion about it. But what about you two? What do you guys think of the infused beers that are out there a lot? I'm
a sissy, so I don't enjoy them. Their IBU for me is usually a little high. Like I don't like bitter, and but I mean I've had some good ones over the years. But it's I love Java John's passion for his craft. Yeah, I'm nothing if not passionate. And so they're really not my thing, but I would love to partner with some people. Like I've sent some stuff to people like, hey, can we like this fall make a killer like coffee stout or something super dope and smooth and kind of sweet.
Fraser, you think you can bust out the old brewing nodes and what do you think?
Blueberry coffee. So I mean we're going to be cupping some Ethiopian soon that should have legit blueberry notes. And so we're looking at some top shelf Yirgachefs. And so it's not blueberry coffee. Like it's not going to be overwhelmingly blueberry. But like Yirgachefs are like world renowned for having blueberry notes, like kind of like that Sumatran honey. You open up, you smell strawberries. Good Yirgachefs, you're like, oh, blueberries, that's dope. And
nice. Yeah. What do you think, coffee fanatics, about
I personally love coffee stouts. I love coffee infused stuff, and a local like roaster teamed up with like a small brewer in the area. Like they're both not really big, and when they teamed up for their like, oh, we're gonna make a coffee stout thing, it sold more than any of their normal product, and they're like, what the heck? That's so awesome. I'm like addicted to it, dude. Anything that I can throw in a keg that tastes like coffee, I'm happy. So
yes. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, and I love stouts in general, and then you know what I mean. Like I like coffee, and I've never, to be honest, how I got into drinking coffee is when my daughter was born. You know what I mean? Like I don't do any other caffeine. I don't drink soda. I don't.
Right. That's fair.
The only time I did energy drinks was when there was liquor in them. And and then coffee has just been like obviously very important because I really truly enjoy it, and I'm thankful that
I've never had liquor though.
I've mixed in, obviously, you know what I mean, some cheap coffee. And once I've had Java John's, this is no bullshit. Like, I can't drink the cheaper stuff because I try.
agree.
I'm just like, ugh. And I'm not a coffee snob or even a coffee, nerd or however you defined it. But
you're definitely not a coffee fanatic.
No.
I already got one of those.
yes, we are.
Already got one of those in the room. That's right.
I do love my coffee. We're sipping on some coffee here, but I love the PBR one. You know what I mean? I love the the PBR coffee one. I really, really do.
I love it, but I don't consider it a coffee drink.
Right.
It doesn't taste like coffee. It tastes like Yoo-hoo.
Okay, yeah, I give you that. What's up, Aaron? Guys, this is
Doesn't
one of
taste like
What up,
coffee.
Aaron?
this is one of the two amazing dudes from the Talking Beards show and
Right on.
Talking Beards Network, where we're on. So a big shout out if you guys don't know Aaron D. Johnson. They're live. Him and Scott do their show every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and their news guy is fantastic.
And he's beautiful too.
Yeah, the news guy. He's actually he's the one on the show usually with an actual beard. They're half beards because they compete. He was actually, I forget what year it was, but the world, I believe, goatee champion.
It's always nice he's checking us out.
Yes. But all kidding aside, man, I love Aaron. He's such a great dude. Make sure you guys check him out. And I'm not just saying that because he's here, but it brought to my attention because he's here. So all kidding aside, I love this dude. And he works nights, but he might be transitioning to days, and you might even see him on the show for some guests.
That's awesome.
So yeah, great dude. Yeah, he loves Yoo-hoo. Yeah, they have the best news guy in the world, so you guys can check it out about 8:15 p.m. every Tuesday. But
the weirdest one too.
Yeah, so the coffee infused. Logan, have you had any coffee flavored beers, or do you stick with kind of what you know?
I've tried them. It's not my flavor.
That's cool. I guess I'm the only one. Okay.
However, I have talked to the wifey recently about starting to drink coffee because my soda intake of 2+ a day needs to end.
Yeah, I would never drink something.
If I could just drink a really good coffee in the morning that I didn't hate, I'd be all right with it.
And I got a great segue for that. I got a great segue.
Honestly.
Obviously, Logan, when you make that switch, let me get the first bag of Java Johns on me for you.
Oh,
all right, we're gonna make that happen. I'm gonna start you off right. Okay.
What a nice
I'm not
gift.
kidding. I'm gonna start you off right. When you say, hey, I'm going to get you that. So what I want to say is I want to ask your opinions. I'm going to have to repeat myself because Coffee Fanatics obviously had to poop, but he's the quickest pooper. He's back. Look at that. So fast. He's quicker. He's quicker than Toby taking a poop. So what I want to ask you guys is because I think this is something that's going to be very, very informative, and people can go and Google it, but it's very biased. So what I want to ask you guys in your opinions, what is one of the best but yet affordable ways to make a great cup of coffee? Not only with Java Johns, if somebody is, crazy enough to buy some other coffee, but you can make a really good cup of coffee pretty inexpensive.
Sure.
But I know if you go out there and you Google how to make the best coffee, it's biased on what you click. People are getting paid to make the reviews to throw these coffee makers up. So I wanted to throw it to the coffee. Let's go with the coffee experts, the coffee panel, and let's get your take on how you guys would make a great cup of coffee. For me, I go with a French press.
Yeah, that's me.
So, Java John, if you want to start it off.
So, like you say, are we making one cup or am I making multiples?
Let's go multiple cups. Let's assume that most people have multiple people in their house and they're going to make multiple cups.
All right, cool.
Or they're just going to chug it all themselves and pretend there's multiple.
Well, I just want to make sure because, single, I go clever dripper. That's my jam. Super quick, super efficient, super delicious. I do it almost every day in the afternoon for me or my wife. Man, I'm really, really biased to a Chemex. And I love them. And I think that if you just take a second to learn it, and I have multiple videos on my TikTok, I'm sure that Coffee Fanatics does too, and I'm about to be starting a YouTube series on Coffee 101, and so doing those like with what it is, once you dial in your grinder and once you dial in the grams of coffee to the grams of water, it'll change your life. And so it makes a bold cup of coffee. It's awesome.
What's it
but
called
then
again?
Chemex, Chemex. But then it makes a really, really clean cup. So you use
don't buy the
filter.
wash
right?
Don't buy if I Google Chemex, it does.
It looks like a flower vase, but with coffee.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's probably my favorite. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the cheapest way. Like your Chemex is going to be $40, and then you need to get like a $30 or $40 kettle, like gooseneck kettle, to do it right. But you don't got to break the bank. And so I mean, that's my favorite thing. That's how I do it almost every single morning. It gives you like 6 cups. So me and my wife usually split that. Sometimes on a rough morning, we'll make 2, and have to keep going. But yeah, that's my favorite way if I'm doing for multiple people. And if I'm doing for tons of people, I'm not affordable at that point. Like I have a mocha master. It's like $300. But for me, it's like out of drip machines. It actually makes a good cup of coffee. So yeah, I don't know. Chemex is kind of my jam. If you want a really cheap cup of coffee, for me, it's a Clever Dripper. You can make one and it tastes like French press. It just doesn't have the grit in the bottom of the cup. And so that's kind of where I live in that little realm.
Nice.
So.
That's great. What about you, Shane?
Yeah, I'm a French press kind of person on a Saturday morning Sunday morning. So with the wife and I, we feel real fancy. We feel real like bougie with our pinkies out when we do it that way. We do the French press, and we even use a French accent when we drink it, and it's delicious and it's amazing, and it's very expensive, inexpensive, I should say, for the overall French press. So yeah, it's just during the week we use a percolator because I need a machine that pretty much just pumps some stuff out to me, like literally need an IV going of a caffeine in my system, but the weekends are for special occasions for the two of us, so that's what we do.
That's dope.
What about you, coffee fanatics? What are you going with?
I will say for the cheapest, first thing I want to say is we're comparing Java John's to cheap coffee. He's very affordable on his prices. I just want to get that out there. I know he will be too humble to say that, so I just wanted to make sure that everybody, it's not like he's so bougie that you're like, oh crap, where's my life savings? It's good prices. But as for cheap coffee, I always tell people to start with either a French press or a dripper. Think about upgrading a grinder first. Getting a good grind is so important. To put it into perspective, I'll start a morning with a $20 French press, but like I am more than happy that I spent like $150 on a hand grinder just because it has like artisanal burrs and all that stupid crap. It sounds cheesy. It sounds stupid. You can make fun of me. I make fun of myself every day. But
I've never made fun of you.
You will be so proud of the coffee that you made for yourself. And I think that's the cool thing too, is, taking that extra time to making a coffee for an experience. I mean, you said that your favorite coffee, I can't point it the right way, that your favorite coffee was, in Paris because of the environment and all that stuff. Like it's the environment.
Right.
And what's cool too, at javajohns.coffee, you can actually specify what type of grind that you want, which is a great thing. Obviously, if you want whole bean, not ground, traditional coffee pot pour over, coarse, which is going to be for your French press or cold brew, and espresso. So you can actually specify which one you would like. And
I like that,
you can
how
subscribe and deliver every 30 days, and you're going to get a 7% discount on every recurring order.
Who needs trade coffee when you get the right coffee every time? Rather than a roulette.
Right.
Exactly.
That is awesome. That is very well said. So no, that's a great input. And like I said, it's something that I feel a lot of people kind of go down this rabbit hole of, so what's the hype? That's a great question. And this is the first time, let's go on record, that Grimlock has actually asked an honest question, I think, on this show.
And didn't just complain to me about being late.
Yes. This is a moment that we had to stop what we were doing to get you guys input. I love it. Yes, we did.
He's just like, please.
So what's the hype behind a French press?
You just get a full-bodied coffee, man. So coffee has a lot of aspects to it. So obviously you have the grind, but there's a lot of oils in coffee. And so whenever you run coffee through a filter, it sucks up a very large percentage of those oils. And so whenever you use a French press, in any immersion type method, that's one of the reasons I love the Clever Dripper, is because it's immersion method just like a French press. But it runs through a filter real quick, so you don't lose all your oils. So the French press is usually a super strong coffee, no matter what kind of coffee you make in it. You get a real bold coffee flavor. You get to enjoy all the oils that are in the coffee, even though it's grit, that's one of my least favorite things. The little grittiness at the very bottom is still adding flavor to the coffee. And so it's just it's a more full bodied, really, really good mouthfeel experience. And it's cheap. It's so cheap. So people like get to the point, like Shane was saying, he's like, we feel bougie. It's like that's usually people's first step to getting fancy coffee at home is they're like, oh, I picked my first French press up at Starbucks. It was on clearance for $7, and it was green, it was a Bodum, it was ugly, but I was like, $7, I got you. And I did it, and that changed my life coffee wise, because at that point I was using K-cups, and so I was like, this is dope. And so you just get a really good coffee drinking experience. So
yeah.
Great answer.
Man, if only Java John's was in a K cup.
It's coming.
I know, that was a joke.
So just real quick, and if anybody wants to, you guys can obviously click here, and you can click here for more Java John's picks. So you don't have to remember all this stuff. Maybe you've had too much coffee and your brain's not going to shut off tonight because this is such an amazing episode. You can go in here. If you want a single cup of coffee, here's a couple of options that he recommends. And of course, these are not obviously Java John's products. These are recommendations from a coffee guy to coffee drinkers. So he does, obviously the AeroPress, Clever Dripper, and the Hario.
Ooh, the V60.
Yeah.
So
that's
here's just a couple. And obviously you guys can click here for more of his recommendations right there. So you segued into this, and let's talk about it. You've and I know, are you guys still good? We're a couple of minutes over. We usually go till 10. So what we'll do is, if you guys are still good, we'll let you kind of I'm gonna put you on the big screen for this. So Logan's just kidding. He's not out. But so what I want to do is this is a special thing, and obviously you're not going to go into too many details because you can't yet. Yeah. But there's been a lot of exciting things that are happening with you and your brand. So I'm going to put you on the big screen, and I want you to tell people kind of what's going on. Are you good? Are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you can guess the masked interviewer in about 42 seconds, I'm pretty sure you're not nervous.
Solid work.
So all right, let's do it.
That's dope. But yeah, so Java John's, like, we're 9 months old this month, and it's been a ridiculous 9 months. I mean, I've not had to work an outside job to do anything. So it's been really, really cool to watch the business grow. But we've struggled since, like November, just getting orders out. Like, we get over inundated, and then we take our foot off the gas until we get caught up, and they put the foot on the gas, and we take it off the gas, put the foot on the gas, take it off the gas. And so we're just like, our business has scaled quicker than we can afford to scale. And so we're in talks right now with it's actually like they import green coffee. And so we're in talks with them right now about kind of a partnership to where we come in and we help them with some of their creative direction. We help them with some of their green, through like some of my relationships of trying to get some coffee shops, like ordering from them rather than some other people. And then I get to use their infrastructure, so I go from a machine that roasts 6 pounds every 15 minutes to a machine that roasts like 25 pounds every 15 minutes. And, I go from hand packing all my bags to having a machine that I pour the coffee into, and it automatically fills the bags for me. I have the ability then to create my own K-cups. They have a machine there. Like, I was talking to him today, and I was like, man, we have sampler packs, and people love our sampler packs, but they're so labor intensive. And he like walked around a corner, and there's a machine there that all it does is little 2-ounce sample packs. And he's like, we can do 6,000 sample packs in like 8 hours. And I was like, well, that's freaking dope, And so it's allowing us to push our business 5 years in the future, really. Like, hopefully like Monday, it's coming really quick. And so I can't say who and when and where and what, but we got some really exciting things coming. One of the things I'm most excited about, it'll give me access to a team, so there'll be a very large handful of people that are there every single day, so it'll no longer be, and I've been so stressed about this and I've been so ashamed of it, but it'll no longer be like, hey, yeah, I'm sorry, it's been 10 days since your coffee's like, I suck. It'll be like, oh, we have an order. Okay, cool. Get it out, Kyle. And just kidding. And, but there'll be a team of people there, to where things don't fall through the cracks. And we should increase things. We've had a lot of problems with shipping, like way beyond me. There's been a ton. We've lost like $6,000 by packages getting lost this year, and in the last 9 months. And so, but that relieves some of that headache too, because it'll be no more like me taking 2 people. It'll be like the people that ship coming there, picking up there, scanning there. There's no doubt that they have it, and it'd be pretty awesome. So we got some really cool things coming in the future. Like I was really hoping after today that I'd be able to like go into the world, be like, it's here, and like be able to tell everybody what's up. But we got some cool stuff coming that's gonna allow us to never run out of coffee, move into K cups, and we have we had a conversation today of how once the batch of K cups is gone that need to be filled, trying to switch to like biodegradable K cups. And so that'd be pretty cool. And so we got a lot of awesome stuff in the works. Stuff that literally over the next few days could fall apart. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but everything looks really good right now. So yeah, so I would love everybody to check us out on javajohns.coffee, where our coffee's so good we don't need a .com.
Ooh.
You like that? You like that? And so check us out there.
Oh God,
so good, guys. Java.
Where's the mic that you need to drop? Don't actually drop it though.
I'm not. It's too expensive.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's a good one. Yes, no, it's it's been really cool. And for anybody, you know what I mean, not to brag about this, but anybody that is friends with him on TikTok, you've seen a little bit of these kind of inside scoops.
Yeah.
Not only is it like we're friends, no, but just the passion, little bit of nervousness, like everything. It's just raw emotion that has been coming from him. It's real, and there's just it's absolutely amazing to see. And obviously, not only myself, and I don't want to speak to everybody, but you can see it in everybody's face. Like we want nothing but the best for you, because not only do we want the best for you, but we want the best for your coffee.
Yeah, right
and we're going to continue to be able to support you and everything. And it's just awesome to see, awesome to hear, and to be able to link up what you've done and be 5 years in the future like that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
it really is.
That'd be crazy.
It's absolutely amazing.
Freaking inspirational.
Agreed.
Yes,
All
that
right.
has been kind of the word of the day, and it's a cool thing. Liquid Shano does a cool clubhouse with Greg runs and some amazing people about some coffee, and you know what I mean. There's he's done some kind of words of the days and some stuff like that, and that's just kind of what pops in my head. So, absolutely amazing. So what I want to do is I just want to take a quick little second. We'll let everybody kind of go around the room, or we'll We'll start with Coffee Fanatics. We'll go to Shane, and then we'll go to Java John's. Just kind of say, hey, here's who I am. This is what I got going on. This is where you can find me. And then we'll continue to do this, and then we'll go ahead and end this. So Coffee Fanatics, you know the deal. Even though
I'm Coffee Fanatics. You can see me on Tuesdays. Focus on Java John's.
Yes, that was fantastic. And Liquid Shano.
Listen, I love when the camera's on me. So hold on, wait, what's happening? So listen, here's the deal. I'm Liquid Shano. I'm on all the platforms, on TikTok and everywhere else. I'm also on Clubhouse, which is blowing up and exploding every single day. We're growing a community there pretty large. But again, I'm glad I was able to be here for Java John's interview, man. He's been somebody that's been inspired me to go out and take risks and take chances for all the things we're trying to be able to accomplish in life, or just taking those risks to achieve your goals and keep on going after it. So John, I appreciate you as a friend, and also I'm glad I was here for it. So
I know.
Absolutely. And we can't thank you enough for being here. And last but not least, and sorry guys, we've been having some technical difficulties. The computer that I use in the studio that Logan's on, the camera keeps messing up. So It's not him as much as everybody wants to blame him. It's
no one's here for me. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Wait, who's that? Who's that? Shut up.
Yeah, and it's funny because his mic will still work, but the camera is just not there. And so last but not least, Java John, tell the people what you got. I mean, we've heard what you got going on, but go ahead.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, so I mean, you can find me as Java John's Roasting pretty much everywhere. And so if you want to follow me, so TikTok is probably where I'm the most fun. But I am trying to get my Instagram to 10,000 so I can do that whole like swipe up thing. That'd be pretty dope. So Java John's Roasting everywhere. JavaJohns.coffee is the website. And man, I just appreciate being here. I always get a little like, I don't know, gun shy. No, can't say that word. I always get a little overwhelmed, like when people talk about being an inspiration, because to inspire is the greatest compliment. And I've been inspired by a ton of people over the years, and for people to be inspired by my story, and I mean, it's my wife too, our story is always fun because I hope that people can unshackle themselves from the golden handcuffs way quicker than I ever did, and move on to something that brings them happiness. It may not bring you all sorts of financial stability, but dude, life is too short not to be happy. And so, you got to do it and do it right.
Man, love it. That's that hits home to a lot of people, and And yeah, it's truly inspiring, like I said, and it's just not a word that that we've thrown around lightly. Logan can attest to that. You know, we've had a lot of great people on here. This is episode 77. Then we get Triple T on Tuesdays. That was 27th episode, and I don't know the time that, you know, that maybe it's everything going on, whether it's me personally or everything, or just the people, but it's just, yeah, you inspire a lot of people, man, and you're able to put out some amazing product that just hits home. And I got to this collab between, you know, all of us, Logan, Shane, Coffee Fanatics, Java John, just this has just been amazing, because when I think coffee, this is what I think. I think this crew, you know what I mean? And I can't thank you guys enough to you know, for being here and everything. So Nick, I appreciate that. We'll what we'll do is we'll maybe line this up for a Triple T where Nick potentially wants to you know, we'll talk offline, and maybe in the upcoming future, courtesy of Nick H. Thank you very much. We'll maybe on a Triple T we'll do we'll do ourselves a Java John giveaway. So I think, he figured it out. He did it.
That's scary, dude. That's so scary.
I wish I just saw him like covered in wires right as we're closing out. Wait, guys,
I'm here. I'm here, kind of.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you guys for all the kind words. Yeah, it has been absolutely amazing. And you know, it's a great when all of a sudden you look at the clock and you're like, oh shit, are you guys good? Because we already went over that hour. Like I had no idea it was there. But no, all kidding aside, not only thanks to everybody that has watched this, thank you to you guys for being here. It really, and I kind of talked to Shane a little bit about it earlier. You know, it's like, he's like, you know, do you care if I'm on the show and whatever? And he's like, I don't want to step on toes. And I'm like, dude, I am honored, man. I am honored anytime anybody wants to be on the show, and it just lines up perfect. So I mean, like, honestly, thanks to that, and obviously, you know, the first person I hit up was, and the only person for the mass interviewer was Coffee Fanatics. Apparently, it was too obvious. You did a phenomenal job. Can we not talk about the voice?
I was so mad. The voice changer broke, and I was like trying to just like I was like do a voice.
You did a good job. I was like, hello, how are you? I love
it. Was the response.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The responses, I thought, no offense, the responses after having been around a lot of mass interviewers ish, I was like, oh, he's giving it up. I don't know what you could have done different.
Yep. I know. I was trying to. Yeah, I like literally downloaded a ton of audio interface things to change it, and then right as I was setting it up, it all just crashed, and I was like, of course, it's too late. Oh well, I could fix it, but it's not time. And I think that's why my mic was being weird.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Let's just chalk this one up as a win for Java John.
Right. Great interviewing skills. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always thought I'm gonna have to go back and maybe I'll do like a mashup. The only other one was when Colin Ray was on here, and he didn't mask his voice at all, and he has a very distinctive voice. That one might have been the quickest. At least John was like, I'm gonna get through a question or three. It was really close. I got to go back and we'll do a time, and I'll try to do a mashup of it. But all kidding aside, thanks to everybody that took the time out of their busy day to watch this. Thanks to everybody that took some time and is currently listening to this. Like, if you're still listening to this and not even watching, you're absolutely amazing. But you guys can check it out any Tuesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday's Triple T, where it's just controlled chaos, where obviously Coffee Fanatics and a couple of us other TikTok dudes, we show videos, we do answer the internet. It's wild. All right. And that one must be terrible to actually listen to, which I'm just thinking like,
yeah, because it's a lot of shotgunning beers where it's just like, okay, go. And the listener's like, I think they're shotgunning another beer.
I think that sounds like a good time, but I've never once seen somebody come over and been like, I was listening to this and now I'm here.
Put it this way. If you've never personally drank beers with that guy, you're missing out on life.
Yeah, so we'll all have to have a meetup, have some coffee, and
on the interweb. I figured that's personally drinking beers with you.
Yeah, you're in the same room.
Well, yeah.
That is key. That is key.
All right. Well, thank you guys. If you guys want to stick around, I'm going to do the outro. You're more than welcome to hang out. But if you got to go, great. Everybody else watching this, thank you so much. We'll see you guys again Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks to everybody on the Talking Beards Network as well. And Trovo, not really sure what's going on over there, but thanks to you guys as well, too. And have a great rest of your night. Stay safe. Stay bearded, everybody. Take care. Bye.